And this
Shut up.
opens. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Black and Gold. This is HiBruiNation, the unofficial home of your Boston Bruins. I'm Goosey, here with Higgy and Matty V. Fellas, say hi to everybody.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
Sound a little gloomy there, Vogel. What's going on?
Yeah. Fucking whatever. The Bruins stink.
It was a week. It was a week. Come on. They went 1-1-1. How bad could it possibly be? Right? It wasn't
been
that
better.
bad.
Let me tell you that. It's been better.
It's 8-3. I mean, if you think about it, they didn't get worse. I mean, that helps, right? You could think of it.
Average, just so average when it doesn't need to be. They shoot themselves in the foot every time. Just such stupid things. We can get into it, but it's been very frustrating.
It is quite literally average.
I haven't
Higgy, do
seen a
you
team
have
this-
any good stuff?
Yeah, it's like the most violently 500 team since the Red Sox that we just watched a few months ago. This is getting painful.
We are
It's like and they're just beating us over the head with the same game script.
We are not having fun as a Boston, sports group right now. 3, I think, out of the 4 major teams are not doing so hot. The Red Sox, nope. Patriots, nope. Bruins, meh. Celtics, that's what we got, though. We got them to look forward to.
So stupid. It's just so stupid.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Who has it worse than Boston fans?
Lately, so a lot of other fans will disagree with you. I know we haven't had a parade in what, like 6 months, 4 months, something like that. So I'm itching for another. All right. Well, I mean, we got news. We
do. We have a couple things actually. Tyler Johnson left the team earlier this week for personal reasons. I believe it was a family emergency. We're recording this Sunday night, so on the 17th. He has since rejoined the team and is back. He was at practice today before tomorrow's game against Columbus. We've also had a couple injuries, too. Earlier in the week, Hampus Lindholm is out for 6 weeks with a fractured kneecap, which is going to really put a damper on our back end. He wasn't, outstanding, but he's one of your, top 4 guys. And him and Carlo haven't been the best in that second pair. But he's been, he's been consistent, a consistent piece of the roster too. Also, in this past game on Saturday against St. Louis, Kostelic also got hurt. He is considered day-to-day. Kyle, what do you think about, this week in injury news?
I think the Hampus Lindholm loss is huge. I know that he started off pretty tough, but I think as of late, he's probably been your best defenseman. Adding to that with the fact that Andrew Peeke is just now starting to work his way back, and you're looking really thin back there. I mean, we're already seeing the likes of Jordan Osterley getting time out there and what that entails. So here's hoping that it doesn't extend beyond 6 weeks and that he's able to sort of hit the ground running again, because I think that's going to be a big loss for a team that's already been playing some pretty abysmal Team D.
Jordan Osterley played on the top line with Charlie McAvoy. That's what we have to offer. Not Lowry. Not Zadora. Jordan Osterley. That hurt.
If you're going to bring him up, I mean, again, you guys know how I feel about McAvoy. Who else are you going to put him with?
Wotherspoon, dude. I don't know any like you can't. Yeah. McAvoy's play is already questionable enough this season, and you're gonna stick him a younger kid with them. No, I'm all set. All set. I don't know. It's not good. That Hampus Lindholm injury, that's gonna bite us in the ass. 6 weeks without him. He's been our best defenseman, like Kyle said. That's gonna hurt.
Fractured kneecap too. That's
brutal.
Yep,
it's
tough. So
brutal.
Yep, it's gonna be 6 weeks, and that's just time to heal. Then you got to talk about ramp up time. He's gonna get back. Yep. He's got to be mentally tough. You got to be mentally tough too for some of this stuff. You know what I mean? So that's going to take some time. So realistically, maybe longer. Might be 7 weeks.
Where is this team in 6 weeks?
Ideally still in a playoff spot.
Well, yeah, sure.
Hopefully.
They're not.
For our sanity.
They're not playing like it. I don't know where else to go with that. I mean, the injuries are certainly not helping. You know what I mean? It's just not. So it is what it is. A rough week overall. I mean, I would say, you had St. Louis twice, one home, one away. That's anticipated. Then you finally got your last game against Dallas. And that split the two St. Louis games. Let's start with the win, right? 3-2 comeback win, much needed, right? You felt good after that. Good game. Pasternak finally, I think that was the game he squeaked it through.
Yep.
I think that was it. Yep. Good. That was good. I think the good solid.
It was. I actually didn't get a chance to catch that whole game. I was actually traveling for work. But 3 goals, something you don't usually see from this team. 3 goals in the third period. I feel like the third period has been a weak spot for this team so far. So that was a bright spot to not focus on all the negatives and obviously getting the win in overtime. To fight your way back from being down. But again, it's a team that you should beat in regulation.
Boston is being outshot in the third period 101-58. They haven't had on their second game against St. Louis, they didn't get a register shot in the third period.
Yeah.
And I think it took them a significant amount of time in the third period to get a shot against Dallas too. That game was
the Dallas game. Was embarrassing. I think I got aggravated and I turned it off maybe 4 times. It was just and then threw it back on.
I almost broke so many things watching that Dallas game because they started that game. I know they had to have a lot of mental toughness in the first period of that game, and I thought they exited the first period down 2-1, and it was an achievable game. You were playing a lot better, and then the second period happened, and then I don't know. I saw red after that.
But also, how many times have you guys said that already this year? Where it's just like first period was pretty solid. They showed up. They played good. They're in it. And then the wheels just fall off immediately. Same thing with the first St. Louis game. Is 0-0 after the first. 2 power play goals they give up in the second. And that basically has been the script so far.
Well, like we were saying before, off air before the show too. Kyle made a good point. You could really clip anything that we're saying right now and replay it for every game so far. Stop taking penalties.
You can just go watch previous episodes.
That's what I mean.
What do you mean? Just go watch previous episodes.
It's the same thing. And that's what makes it frustrating because they don't have to play like that. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And we've said that before, too. It's incredibly frustrating to watch this team beat themselves.
Mike Sullivan, who came on the podcast, a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and I was watching a clip from them, and it was, I think, Nick that said something about, they wouldn't trust them going to a team building event around axe throwing because they'd be afraid that they'd kill somebody with how many shots they've missed. I got to give them a ton of credit. I cracked up laughing, seeing that because it's so freaking true. In the St. Louis game on, Saturday, all you constantly heard was miss wide, miss wide, miss wide. And it's like, are they going to ever hit anything? Christ, I'll take a hit post. Instead of a hit end board, it drives me crazy.
I mean, even if they did, even if they put up 5 or 6 goals on Thursday, Dallas scored 7.
Yep,
that's a football
on Swayman.
I mean,
on Swayman,
they scored a touchdown. The Bruins.
Yep.
So even if you are putting the puck on net and you have a game like Saturday against St. Louis where you have Frederick, who I think played outstanding, in front of the net, dominating the front of the net, getting those dirty goals off rebounds or what have you. You can't win. You can't win letting up 7.
No,
there's no world where that's going to happen.
There was a stat, and I can't remember the exact number on it, but it was the first time that the Bruins basically let up, I think, 7 or more goals in quite a significant amount of time. This close, this close in the season. I think it's been, 8 years. I don't know. I can't remember the number, but the number to me just was damn, that's a long time since that has happened, and it's mind-boggling. And it's in front of Swayman. That's your number one goaltender. Swayman played the St. Louis game. He played the Dallas game. Korpisalo got the second St. Louis game. And I just look at that team, and sometimes, like, how it used to be, you could say that maybe they just don't want to play in front of Tuukka. Maybe they just don't want to play in front of Sway. Maybe they don't want to just play in front of Allmark. They don't want to. This team does not want to play in front of any one of their goaltenders right now. And Zadorov said it. The team is soft. The defense is soft. It's embarrassing. And I think he said that after the Dallas game.
If you watch some of the goals that they scored in that Dallas game, there was egregious amounts of space given. So you had guys coming in on the rush, and it'd be like they're getting over the blue line, and the D's already back at the top of the circles. I think it was maybe the Marchment goal?
Yeah, they killed them on the rush.
Right side stepped into the zone, but they didn't even kill us on the. We gave them the rush. It's like if you give somebody with even half an ounce of skill, like they're gonna make something happen with that much time and space. It's like, yeah, no shit, you guys are getting scored on. Like, you give me wide open looks like that all day, I'll figure it out eventually.
And
never mind, guys.
Point too, have you guys noticed that in the defensive zone, how much standing around and looking at the puck?
Oh man,
4 out of 5 guys on the ice are doing. If puck not watching. All of them.
McAvoy.
Yeah,
McAvoy does it all the time. Zadorov.
And then it's with the centers are like collapsing down to like on top of the D in front of the net almost. Yeah, it's the D coverage as a whole is brutal.
Yeah. So again, it's time. You're giving them time. You're giving them space, and obviously, good teams are going to capitalize on that. And obviously, and not so good teams have capitalized on it too.
And not even that. Well, I shouldn't say not even that. But the transition game for when they get the puck in the defensive zone is terrible. How many turnovers have we seen just being tossed into the middle of the ice in front of their own goaltender that's been intercepted for a good opportunity? I would probably say it's been saved 50% of the time, but you shouldn't even have to worry about that 50% of the time. They're not looking where they're passing.
A lot of the mistakes have been, when we said it, have been self-inflicted, and it's infuriating.
Yep. Is it a system thing? Could you attribute it to a system thing? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I mean,
I'll at least slightly. No, you don't think? No, like obviously not to that extent, but they have to be. I would hope that they're not just coming up with that, and they're at least being told to try to utilize the middle of the ice more. I'm sure they're not saying, "Yeah, just throw it in front of there."
No, I'm sure they're not. I think there's someone somewhere, and I doubt it was Montgomery, said the philosophy needs to change. For the last 2 years, we have heard about how soft this team was in terms of size. So they go and fix that, right? And so now they want to emphasize hitting. They want to emphasize brute strength. What effing guy on this team, outside of maybe Marchand, has actually used his body effectively to protect the puck or go get the puck? Maybe Coyle? Maybe? I would argue Poitras too, but he got sent down. But he got sent down for being one of the most consistent players on that team. And they claimed they sent him down because he wasn't getting enough top 6 minutes. So then why not give it to him? Did you guys see that? Like that stat of the amount of shots he's taken, the takeaways he's had, all that stuff. He's been one of your better Bruins in that regard.
Yeah, I didn't understand that move at all. If you're gonna move anybody, I mean, Geeky is on your roster.
Yeah, and he hasn't been good.
That's what I mean. So if you're going to move anybody, and you know that Poitras should be at this level, and if he's not getting enough top 6 minutes, then give it
to him.
Give him top 6 minutes.
Or give it 2 periods, and Montgomery will change the lines, and he'll be on your first line.
There is a philosophy, right? And I like the philosophy that says, you earn your time, right? You earn your ice time. No one on this team has earned their ice time except maybe for Pastrnak and Marchand, arguably.
And for those two, it definitely wasn't even until the last few games.
It wasn't until recently.
First 10 games. Yeah, first 10 games, they were probably the chief among them that should have been sitting on the bench.
Now, supposedly, both of them had nagging injuries, right? Well, Marchand came off of surgeries. I'm willing to give him a bit of a break. Pastrnak eventually came out and said he just had a nagging thing over the summer. So he's starting to look like he's returning to form a little bit. But still, outside of those two players, what happened to Zacha? What about Coyle? Geeky's really not that bad of a player. Streaky player, he's probably more reminiscent of a Jake DeBrusk.
What about Lindholm?
Yeah, Elias Lindholm.
Before the season, he's supposed to be your bona fide 1C. I mean, where has he been?
I'll give Lindholm this. He started his first 5-6 games really strong start. Has since then cooled off, and I don't think that is due to Lindholm. I think that has everything to do with Montgomery. Montgomery is blending the lines so much and so frequently that none of these guys, especially the newer guys, like Lindholm, Zadora, they can't build any form of chemistry. Max Jones, but Max Jones just inherently sucks. But you're not gonna have that expert like Kostelic, Beecher, and Koepke. They just naturally figured it out, right? They some lines just naturally have that chemistry. You got to give some of these guys time. Constantly flipping these guys around, and just because you're assuming that they're part of the same system does not always mean it's going to translate from line to line.
And I also love the fact that last week that Marchand was quoted after the game talking about how Montgomery insists on constantly flipping the lines because he basically insinuating that he wanted to stay with Lindholm, and he's not with Lindholm anymore. So even saying it publicly to the media didn't get him to lock into a line.
He's not helping anything out. I just to give you guys a quick thing, and what Montgomery has done and the inconsistency of these lines. Beecher's been benched. Pasternak for one period's been benched. Marchand's got screamed at, but he hasn't been benched. Lorai's been benched. He's also been in and out of the lineup. Geeky's been benched, also in and out of the lineup. Brezo been benched in and out of the lineup. Patra has been sent down. Where are they supposed to do? Also, all those players I've mentioned have moved up and down the lineup like crazy. At what point do they have any idea where they're going to play? I understand with practice and you're practicing with these guys, but that's not. You can only simulate a real game situation so well in practice. Set your lineup,
and it's also
and go.
Go ahead.
I was going to say set your lineup and go. Sorry, Hickey,
if you feel the need to send a message to that many players in the first 20 games, clearly your message isn't getting across. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could see having to do that once in a while. Usually it's a big deal. Like, you sit Pasternak down for a period. That should be a big deal. That should matter in the locker room. But if you're benching a different player or pulling a different player out of the lineup every 3 games, like, clearly your messaging isn't hitting, or it's not the messaging that's the problem. There's something else going on.
And for Marchand and Pasternak, that message was received. They understood. Wrong. They got the message. Message received. They started getting points. They started playing a lot better. Marchand looked like he's returned to form. Pasternak's looking like he's returning to form. The other players aren't going to receive that. You're hurting their confidence. You're hurting the believability in the team. I don't know. That's my stance on it.
Stuff like bringing up Tufte and
I agree.
Sending down Patra, to me, and I know that they say Patra needs more time. He's not going to have top 6 minutes. To me, and I don't know exactly. I mean, Cam, you might know more than I do. Who's making that call? Who's sending who up and down? But do you think that Tufte is going to give you a better shot at winning than Patra?
Nope. They want, again, size. Tufte's huge. He's a big guy. But he's not going to be that missing piece that's going to help you win.
So why not just roll with Patra? Even if you think that he needs more time, give him the time. What do you have to lose?
So that's my point too. So set your lineup, have your lines, 10 games. 10 games they should be together. You are not touching them for 10 games. It's ridiculous. And I'm so adamant, and I'm so pissed off, just probably like every other Bruins fan. They're sick and tired of seeing the lines tossed in a blender.
The second St. Louis game
doing them a disservice. We already know that. Perfect example of that.
I might have just tried to cut you off. My connection went in and out.
No, it's fine. But I understand what you were saying. St. Louis is a perfect example of that.
No, my point was St. Louis this past Saturday, the overtime loss. No, yes, overtime. Yeah, the overtime loss. That was the 20th game of the season. So we're now a quarter of the way into the season.
Yep.
And there's still so many question marks. There's still so much to work on. And I feel like around this time, people say it all the time, around Thanksgiving, you kind of have an idea of where teams are going to be for the rest of the year and how and their kind of identity for the year.
This is a weird year, though, Vogel, I have to say, because if you go look at the standings, the Bruins at 8-8-3 are still, it's very tight, dude. Like, so they still got some time.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, we're a quarter of the way into the season. A lot of these questions shouldn't be questions right now.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not a matter of rust anymore.
Yeah.
We correct me if I'm wrong. We knew this coming into the season that cool. We solved the 1C problem. We got Elias Lindholm, whose numbers are actually not that bad. He's a 0.5 point per game player, despite moving up and down. He's 53% on the faceoff dot. He's a +0. It's not like he's not like he's doing anything negative. He's on the ice for a lot of good plays. He makes good plays. His hockey IQ is really good. It's just a shame that none of his effing line mates can finish, mainly because you're probably trusting Justin Brazeau to snipe at top corner from the opposing blue line. Like that's what it is. We outside of that, though, like, we knew there was going to be a question at defense. We thought Zadorov was going to fill that. We filled the position at 1C because that was one of the biggest problems. What we didn't solve was that second line right wing spot. We knew that was going to be another problem coming into the season, and they're relying on Justin Brazeau. And it's no discredit to him.
Yeah, and same with it, where it was like they were expecting Geeky to give you what he gave you last year, if not more, to take another step, and he clearly is not. You got a lot out of Denton Heinen last year, who's not here. Jake DeBrusk, obviously, we know we lost him. But they addressed two holes, but sort of ignored the fact that they maybe had created others, and now it's seeming like those are coming to be glaring issues across the board here.
I don't think they created others. I think the fact that they're just still shifting things around too frequently is making it seem like they actually are existent when they're not. Trent, Patra, and Geeky was a great line last year. Now, if you actually put Patra and elevate him and you have Trent, Johnson, and Geeky, I feel like that's a decent line. Geeky's fast, speedy, can get to the net. Trent's a biggish body who likes to play his body. And Tyler Johnson's a good two-way forward. Right now, he's a depth piece. And your fourth line's been absolutely stellar. So then you just got to figure out your top six and what that's going to look like. And you can't move Coyle. He's got a modified no-trade list, and I doubt he's going to agree to anything else. And another thing, our top four defensemen in Hampus, McAvoy, Zadorov, and Carlo, 3 of those 4 have full no movement clauses. One of them has a modified no trade clause, and that's Brandon Carlo. We can't get rid of Zadorov even if we wanted to.
Hopefully so we're stuck with that, or won't feel that way. The entire season. We want to rip our hair out watching him skate to the penalty box every game. Hopefully, he can turn it around.
Yeah. By the way,
you said if the fourth line has been stellar. Beecher has been benched, and Kostelic is now out. So now you have to fill that hole. And I also think it's worth noting, and I don't know, nothing's come out yet, but Merkulov is still there. He was at practice today. Brad Marchand was not. Brad Marchand and Kostelic are both not at practice. Nothing's come out that there's an injury or if it's a maintenance day or what. But now he's
Marchand's older. It's more than likely a maintenance day. I mean, it's not uncommon for players his age to take more time off. I mean, like it's known. He's also been playing very physical, so it doesn't surprise me. He's probably just getting some work done, and that's gonna
could be. I'm just saying it's worth noting that he did not skate today.
You bring up Merkulov, okay? You bring him up. What did I say? Give the kids a freaking opportunity. I'm not going to say they're going to make or break the whole entire team for you, but they're going to bring a breath of fresh air to the team, and they might even show you something. Guy gets an assist.
An unbelievable assist too.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not going to say like he's going to go off and score 75 points, 85 points. He's not going to do something like that. But you bring in a guy with the natural scoring ability, like Merkulov, or a guy who can bring something else to the team outside of size, which it's something I think the Bruins overemphasized on. You had enough. You brought in Max Jones. Max Jones is doing absolutely nothing for you. Kostelic is your big size guy. He's taking the penalties away from or the fighting penalties away from Trent, so Trent can focus more on this. But Trent's also not afraid to toss him. Like, Coyle's a big, sizable guy. Lindholm's a sizable guy. They're not hitting people, but they're puck carriers. They're strong on the puck, right? You need people with some speed too. Otherwise, you're just going to get burned. And you increase size on your defense too. So I don't understand what this whole I need more size thing is. Merkulov was a perfect example that he comes in and he impresses with an assist.
I knew when they called him up that you were going to go off, but letting the young kids get a shot.
But look what happened.
I know. But
in
this
look
case,
what happened.
you were right.
Trent Frederick went and scored 2 fucking goals yesterday.
Let's not forget how did they get both those goals?
Oh, front of the net. Front of the net shots.
Front of the net. Got pucks on the net. It's like, imagine that. Imagine generating your own traffic and getting rebounds. It's crazy.
You have a guy like Justin Brazeau, who's 6'5", 6'7" on skates, something along those lines, and you're not shooting the puck with him out in front and screening it? Are you shitting me? Who's moving
especially, it's like you're insistent on using him in a top 6 role. He's most effective in that role, playing down low, playing front of the net. He has good hands down low. Get the puck on the net.
We said that last week too.
Maybe try and do it in the third period. That'd be really crazy.
No, they're too busy benching Pasternak in the third period to do something like that.
Playing the 1-4 check in the third.
Yeah, it's the predictability.
Line up on the blue line.
It's the predictability for me too. If you just look at it, and we could talk. Let's talk about the special teams a little bit, where everything is so damn predictable. If your name's not David Pasternak, you're not shooting the puck. Shoot it. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're so focused on making the most perfect play. It doesn't work. But if you've seen the games where they've simplified and they score. I don't know.
So special teams for me is going to be like a weird reverse positivity. So they're bad, very bad. Worst power play in the league, like 6th worst penalty kill.
Sounds positive.
We're still 500. We're floating right around a playoff spot. There's, I don't think, any realistic way in which both of these special teams units remain this bad for the entire year. I think that there's absolutely some positive regression coming for our special teams units, which I think will do a lot to buoy some of what we got going on. So I think if you want something to hope for and sort of point to say there's plenty of reason to believe that things are going to swing in a better direction, there's no chance that they're going to keep going at 11% on the power play for the entire year.
They're due.
The Bruins are
the boys are due.
The Bruins are the most penalized team in the league. They're also the team that gets the most penalty calls for in favor of. So you want to know what? That's just, at least they're first in a couple categories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're winners in something. And I can't believe, I'm still going to go back to this, just on the benching of John Beecher. They can't believe they benched the Hart winner. Can't believe it without it. It's unbelievable. They don't even understand.
It's going to be even crazier when he wins the Rocket Richard after not playing every game.
Yep, that's it. He's going to win the Rocket Richard with 3 goals.
Out of everybody on the team, what did he do to get benched?
Apparently, they didn't like his play. I don't know. I don't know their thought process anymore.
What I heard on that was that I believe he was responsible for 2 different icings, both of which led to Dallas goals.
Cool. Okay, so McAvoy's been
still
responsible
seems like
for
a bit of a
coughing up the
stretch.
Yeah. McAvoy coughs the puck up on the blue line at the power play that has been leading to 2-on-1s. He hasn't been benched. Zadorov has been.
You're paying him too much money to sit him down to sit him down for full.
Doesn't matter. Give the guy a message.
I agree. You guys know how I feel about McAvoy, but realistically, that's not going to happen. That's like healthy scratching,
You benched Pasternak for a period.
It
doesn't matter. McAvoy has not been benched in any capacity. That's my problem.
I'm on your side.
I know you're on my side. Whose side are you on?
I'm on your side. I agree that there should be more. There
sure
more
seems like it.
I think
don't get me.
They should win more games.
I think that they should really try to skate 5 players on the ice at one time.
Oh God, did you see that we got a
I
too
think
many
that
men
you could have
penalty?
just stopped that, and I think they should really try.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said we should have tried 5-on-5. Did you see we got another too many men penalty
Yes,
yesterday?
that's what I'm saying.
It just
At what
drove me
point?
up the
At what
wall.
point is that? Do you guys think that's more on the players or that's more on the coach?
Players,
It,
you got to be able to count both.
it's been
Actually, I'll say both, but you got to
see,
count.
I'm putting it on coach, yeah, because this is what was it? Did he do it the first year too? Last year was egregious, so it's like still a problem with this coaching regime here.
It's but as an NHL player, how do you not know when to change?
That's where I put the onus on some of the players. Like
I don't know.
it doesn't take.
I blame the players. I mean, again, coaching might have
It's
something
got to be both.
to do with it, but you're an NHL hockey player. You should know how many guys are on the ice. You should know when to jump, when you shouldn't. Like,
Yep.
There's another example of shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep. Not taking advantage of guys being out too. It's just not. I think they were still without Robert Thomas yesterday. St. Louis. It's one of their best players.
I think they're missing Thomas. They're missing Broberg, and I believe they're missing another defenseman.
Yeah, you can't capitalize on these opportunities. Like it's just it drives me crazy. I don't know, and I understand and I know you agree with me that McAvoy needs to be benched in some capacity. So does Zadorov. Like I can't speak today. It's any day. It's just nuts to me how you're gonna sit your star player who you pay $11 million, but that's not too much. But you won't sit someone paying $5 million and then $9 million because they're coughing up stuff at the blue line, or they're hurting you more than they're helping you. It doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. You want to send a message, start somewhere, or you want to know what? Remove the A from McAvoy. Do something. I don't care. There's got to be a leadership accountability too, and I think that's part of it. Even though it's not going to do anything.
I am starting to get worried that in the room leadership is part of the problem here. I wonder if Marchand's sort of doing it all on his own. And I think that we were spoiled for quite a while with some serious depth as far as leadership went for this team. Going back to when you got Bergeron, Krejci, Chara, and then all the guys that you would bring in, the Folignos, the Backus, all of these guys that you had those attitudes in the room that knew how to win, knew how to lead, whether they were wearing a letter or not. And now you don't have that. So this is like the first real changing of the guard where you don't have that sort of built-in extra layers of leadership, extra layers of quasi-captains, essentially. And now I wonder if the voices are going quiet.
Do you guys think Monty's lost the room?
No, but I think it's in jeopardy.
Yeah, I don't think that he's lost the room, but Kyle makes a good point too. I mean, this is the first we were spoiled for so long. Do you think the attitude around the locker room, the attitude on the ice is different if even just Bergeron and Krejci are there?
But here's the thing: this is virtually the same team as last year. You have Elias Lindholm, who I believe wore an A in Calgary. I think he was an alternate. I think he had a letter. He's a veteran player. You have good players on that team that can lead. Like Trent Frederick, I would say, I don't want to call him like the best leader in the world, but I think he could stand up when he needs to. Coyle, for example, and another guy. I think there's veterans on there that can do it. Maybe there's
how about that should?
They should.
We don't know that they can. They should be able to.
It's easy to speculate, and we hear it all the time. It's easy to speculate, but we have no idea what goes on behind closed doors.
Do you think there is a personality in the locker room that is blowing it up? Because I'm on the side that there could be.
No.
Riley Tufte.
Yeah. It's Ian Mitchell, I think.
Ian Mitchell. I'll leave Ian Mitchell alone. I don't know, but maybe that's just.
I don't know. Like, how about I want to hope not. I don't have any.
Yeah, I like to hope not
to believe one way or the. Yeah, it's like I can't say that there isn't for sure, and I do think that some of these guys, this is the first time that they're seeing any real adversity. So maybe that we wouldn't know if they had attitude issues because they never had to worry about it.
I'm a big believer in you need to lose in order to know how to win, right? So we'll see how they respond. I don't want to beat the team roster down any more than we already had. So let's move on to one of our other topics. And it's going to be in a positive light, I guess. And let's talk about Jonas Korpisalo over Jeremy Swayman right now. Korpisalo, despite not winning some of his most recent games, but he has won, enough, has been playing exceptionally well. Has he earned the next start?
I don't know if we're quite there yet, but I definitely think it's a conversation that you have. I think that in basically all but one of his starts, he's given the team a chance to win. And in some of them, he's basically the only reason they had a chance to win. So I've been extremely pleasantly surprised by his play as of late. Seems like he's sort of settling in. It's funny. He always seems a little uncomfortable on what should be routine stops, but his high danger save percentage is, I think it's like 860 or something or other. Mm-hmm. So it's just like when he's facing the real tough ones, it's like that's when he's showing up. So I've been very impressed with him as of late. How about you, Matt?
Every game he's played, it seems like there's been unbelievable saves. I mean, the game in St. Louis on Saturday, he was doing acrobats in the crease. I think it was the first period, it was early in the game. So like you said, he's playing to give the team a chance to win. I think that start him in Columbus. I mean, against Columbus, why not? I don't think that Swayman's played bad, but the team has played bad, and I don't think that they're not helping the goalies. They're not helping either of the goalies. Do I think that Korpisalo has earned a little bit more playing time? Yeah. But you also just paid Jeremy Swayman. I think he's one of the top 5 highest paid goalies in the league
right now.
So do you want, again, just like the McAvoy thing, do you want to pay him all that money to split time? Because I don't.
But I'm just wondering, if the philosophy is in the Bruins locker room, you play to earn your time. Right now, I think he's played to earn it, But he's not Linus Ullmark. You know what I mean? He's not going to give the same thing Linus Ullmark did, and you're not going to split that much time with him. It was just a curious question, but I think that might be a conversation to be had. But I also agree with you that your team defense has been abysmal. Figure it out.
If you do, it shouldn't be like Swayman and Ullmark pretty much had a 50-50 split. If anything, play it, 70-30 until the team starts figuring it out, because I do think the Korpisalo has earned more time. I don't think that he should sit on the bench all season and just play, once every 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was kind of mind-boggling to me when I saw that, the amount of time in between games. I'm like, I don't know about how I feel about that.
Yeah, so even if it's kind of splitting the net until the team figures all this other stuff out, and then riding with Swayman, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, because
Swayman, I really don't have anything super negative to say about Swayman.
Yeah, nor do I. I don't think it's the goalies. I've seen on Twitter that a lot of people are starting to blame the goaltenders. Like, listen, if every time that the opposing team is scoring on a backdoor shot, or because the defense gave up too much ice, no, you can't blame that on them. One of those shots is bound to go in eventually, right? Even if it's a shot that Swayman sees, especially if they take 30 shots and they're in the zone for 2 minutes, you're a player. You're going to get tired. You're not going to see it out all the time. So that's my argument with that.
Yeah, if Swayman was at his best, you lose to Dallas 5-2 as opposed to 7-2. Wonderful. You still left him out to dry. You still can't play defense. It doesn't matter who's in net right now. But I do think that there's something to be said for the fact that it seems like Swayman isn't up to speed and might need a little more time. So I'd be open to having them do a bit more of an even split, at least right now, until he sort of finds more of a groove.
Yeah, not to be a full season thing, but until things get sorted out, and until a lot of these questions that we've had get answered.
Yeah, support your players.
Why not?
Support your players. Support your players, guys.
In keeping with the vague positivity that we got going for Korpisalo, do we want to pivot into our Big Bad Bruin of the week?
No, not yet, because we got a couple more points that we want to go over. Montgomery's playing for his job. Not playing for his job. He's coaching for his job. If he was playing, it would probably be 1,000 times worse. Does he make it to Thanksgiving? Crickets.
I don't think so.
Bueller. No. If things don't turn around and this week goes the same as the past two, and it's all the same stuff, I think that, so going into the Thanksgiving week, that they have some decisions to make.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I don't.
It hinders on this week.
I don't see him sticking around much longer.
I agree. It hinders on this week. And the last topic is that there was a huge hit.
I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this.
There was a huge hit by Jamey Benn on Brandon Carlo on Thursday night's game against Dallas that was initially called a major penalty on the ice that was later reviewed, and I don't understand how this was reduced to a minor. So we're actually going to play the clip for you guys right now on the screen for those watching. I don't understand how, when you are given all the time in the world to look at something and review something, that you can safely say that was not intent. That hit was by a veteran player who's been playing in this league for quite amount of time, and they still reduced that to a minor. Carlo was injured at the end of that play. He returned to the game later on, but still, I don't see how you don't see that as worthy of 5 minutes in my eyes. Like, look at that again.
And especially
for those listening, it's Jamey Benn coming, hitting Carlo behind the net. Everyone has probably seen the clip by now. It was, I think, very much from behind. Sorry to cut you off, Kyle. Very much from behind. I thought it should have been way more than that. I'm glad that Zadorov came in and tried to beat the brakes off of him. After that, it shows that some of the guys have each other's back. So, Kyle, go ahead.
The two arguments that you see people usually use in these instances is he turned last minute, or that they went in together and got tangled up. And neither of those is applicable for this. He had his back turned the entire time. And Ben had plenty of spacing between him. It's not like he was right on him to begin with. You can see in the clip that Carlo basically came to a complete stop. Ben then closed the gap and then hit him. So it's not like it was a split second. He put the brakes on. Ben coasted in. You saw him drop his shoulder and get ready for the hit after he was already basically stationary. So it's not like you can make the argument that it was a split second or that he turned last minute. It was pretty blatant intent for what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And to cite the rule, exactly, it was called, first of all, it was called boarding. So Rule 41.1 boarding. A boarding penalty shall be imposed on any player who checks or pushes a defenseless opponent in such a manner that causes the opponent to hit or impact the boards violently or dangerously. The severity of the penalty based upon that impact with the board shall be at the discretion of the referee. The onus is on the player applying to the check to ensure his opponent is not in a defenseless position, and if so, he must avoid or minimize contact. However, in determining whether such contact should be avoided, the circumstances of the check, including whether the opponent had put himself in a vulnerable position immediately prior to or simultaneously with the check, or whether the check was avoidable, can be considered. So it goes back to what Kyle said, about, did he pivot? He did not. Did Jamey Benn have enough time? Yeah, 100%. Like, he reached for it. Like, it's one of those things where I'll never understand that. And it doesn't send a clear, good message to a lot of people saying, like, if you care about players' safety, that's what you're going to do. I don't think so. What do you guys think?
My favorite thing with player safety is them talking about the just spin the punishment wheel. They just make shit up every time.
I love that. You know, I'm a big fan of the wheel and the punishment wheel. But stuff like that has been going on across the entire league so far this season. I mean, you could almost pick out a couple games every week where there's something that happens, and why was it not a call? Why everyone harps on player safety? I mean, what was the reasoning behind this? So it's across the league.
No, we didn't get one. You know what's even crazier? So did you guys see the intermission of that game where I think it was Billy Jaffe and a few other individuals were almost screaming,
Jaffe
like
was
wondering, yeah, like everybody in that Nesson commentator room, and they've been doing this for years too. And like, you know, they know a lot of NHL referees, they know the guys, they know the players, they've done this for years. You'd think they know a thing or two about how these things have been called because they've probably seen it from bird's eye view through their entire careers. And not one of them could come up with a single explanation as to why that would have been reduced to a 2-minute minor. I don't understand it. It should have been, if they did reduce it, should have been 4 at the very least.
I mean, but we could harp again, just like the guys during intermission. We could harp on this all night, but it's across the league. You can't change it now. Will that if that call happens, if that play happens again, in a month from now, will the call be different? Probably.
Yeah, that was Brad Marchand. That's 5 minutes. That was Brad Marchand. That's 5 minutes. Sorry, Vogel. Go ahead.
Whatever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't taken a look at that video, please go actually take a look at it. It might surprise you, just like it surprised the rest of us what that call ended up being. But with that being said, we'll go right down to the Big Bad Bruin of the week. Take it away, Kyle.
I actually got Jonas Corposalo this week, which is funny, seeing as he didn't win his start and only played in one of the 3 games. But I think it's more of a overarching thing where he's been the better goaltender for a decent stretch of time now, giving the team a chance to win basically every time that he's been out on the ice. High danger save percentages. I went and double checked my own numbers. It's 842 compared to Swayman's 675 at this point in the season. I just think he deserves props for the way he's been playing as of late, especially with all of the shit that he got coming in where, worst goalie in the league last year and all of these things. It's like he's been about as good as you can hope that he could be behind a team that's been playing terrible defense, and when expectations for him were so low to begin with.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I had him up there too. My Big Bad Bruin for this week is going to be Trent Frederick. He had the 2 goals in the St. Louis game this past Saturday. In a really, really bad game against Dallas, he had an assist on one of the 2 goals. And like we said earlier, the kind of goals that he scored are the goals that you want to see. The dirty goals in front of the net, the rebounds, those are the goals that he should be scoring. He's not a highlight goal type of guy. You need to get down and dirty to score those goals. And I think that he had again, not a ton of bright spots this week, but I think that St. Louis game, he showed a lot. And I think that he was the best player on the ice that day. And he wanted that hat trick bad.
Yeah, I think both of you guys had good picks. Actually, Higgy, I had Corposalo, and then I changed it to Trent Frederick. Same reasons as Vogel. He popped up 2 goals, 1 assist, on the week. I mean, it was really hard to choose anybody else. It is what it is, right? I mean, but honorable mention to Jonas Corposalo. He just only played 1 game, and it was really hard for me to give it to him. And I think that was the tiebreaker for me there. So, yeah, Trent Frederick is my Big Bad Bruin, and he was a Big Bad Bruin yesterday. He was hunting for that hat trick too.
Oh, later in the game, he wanted it bad.
He wanted that, and that's what you need. You needed that drive. You need that passion. So that's what did it for me.
Yeah,
we just got a quick bear growl.
just a little one, a sampler,
like just for next time. Yeah. Oh man. Oh god. All right. the week look ahead. Or the week ahead, whatever we're gonna call it today. Listen, Bruins fans, we've been drinking. We're not having fun. We are not having fun.
We are not. I'll kick us off for the week look ahead. We have a Monday game, which I believe is one of 2 for the whole year. I'm not entirely sure on that, so don't fact check me.
Yeah, we don't have many.
So tomorrow night or today when this comes out, we'll play Columbus at home. Then back to Thursday, we have Utah, the hockey club, coming to the Garden for a Thursday night game. I think, yeah. And then I think Saturday is also a night game that is in Detroit against the Red Wings.
Oh, man. This should be a week where we sweep it. All 3 of these games are winnable. You should beat Columbus. They don't have anything. They have less than dirt. And we're going to lose to them. Like, that's what it's going to be.
Is that your official prediction?
No, my prediction is
that's what you got?
My prediction is that we should win this. I'm going to say we are going to win this. Within the back of my mind, we're going to get fucking destroyed 7-0. So take it what you will.
Note it. Bookmark this if you're watching or listening that the Bruins should beat dirt.
Yep. They should go kick rocks. They should pound it. They should pound
there's dirt. The Bruins should beat them.
And Kent Johnson's going to score a hat trick, Vogel.
Oh, I might go just to.
You're gonna let him have it.
That guy.
Let him have it, Vogel. Let him have it. Nope. We should win it. Bag. We should win against Columbus.
What do you got for Utah?
We should beat them.
You're going sweep. You're going full sweep the whole week.
It's a full sweep for me. Utah is still without Sean Durzi and John Marino, or whatever his name is.
All right, full sweep. Bold prediction after the way the team's been going. Kyle.
I'm going sweep or else.
Ooh. You want to see Montgomery stay, don't you?
No, he doesn't.
I don't want to have a mental breakdown. I would say if they can't win these 3 games, you might see me running naked into Warrior for the morning practice.
By the way, check out our video blog after this week if the Bruins lose. Watch Higgy get arrested.
Maybe it's pessimist. Me being a pessimist after this, the past couple of weeks. But I'm going Columbus is a win because they're dirt and the Bruins should beat dirt. And I'm going a loss against Utah and a loss against Detroit.
Kent Johnson's going to score 5 goals on us, and I'm going to. I'm going to get so many text messages.
To the Garden and Kent Johnson drops his dick on the Bruins. I'm going to be so mad.
I'm going to get so many messages from Vogel just be like, dude, I quit. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. If he gets 1 goal or if he gets a point, it's going to be over. No, they should. They really should. And if they don't, this is going to be the telling week for Montgomery. If they lose 2 out of the 3 of these games, you got to see Montgomery is likely gone. These 3 games are absolutely winnable. Detroit has goaltending issues. Their defense still isn't that great. They still have a high-flying offense, but you are better in 2 out of the 3 of those categories, and those categories matter. Utah has some injuries, and they beat you last time, but it took a lot for them to do that. In Columbus, they just played a Pee Wee team, and the Pee Wee team kicked their ass. So don't be less than dirt. I don't know what to tell you.
The 2024-2025 Bruins. Don't be less than dirt.
Market.
Trademark it. We also, I don't know if we announced it last week, but we haven't gone back and tallied everything. We are going to start keeping track of the predictions for the whole year. At the end of the year, we're going to tally everything up and go by percentage because I know all of us haven't been able to catch every show. And there will be we haven't really pieced it together yet, but there probably will be some sort of prize and some sort of punishment for the best and worst records. So stay tuned for that.
The prize is going to be the end of the season has finally arrived if we don't make the fucking playoffs.
Matt's taking the winner.
This is terrible.
Hopefully. There will be a punishment wheel.
Like the dopes with dops, is that how it's going to be? Just randomly assign something?
We will take a punishment wheel. If you guys want to send comment down below, or if you're streaming this, send us a DM on Twitter or any other social. If you guys have a suggestion for the punishment wheel, send it over. I'm open to that.
Sure.
Within reason.
Within reason, yeah. Yeah. Unless you're Higgy, we're not going to go streaking at Warrior Ice Arena. Out of mental insanity.
Yeah, you'll see a live barn stream of running across.
Kyle, watch out for the third line.
Man, I hope next week is better. I hope that the vibes for next week will be higher.
I haven't hit anything yet.
Have been.
I'm glad. Yeah, that third leg is going to hit that third rail. You know what I mean? It's going to give you a nice zap. I'm with you, dude. Again, these are 3 games they should win. Just win 2 out of it. I don't care. Just to go 2-0-1. Just do something. Make me happy. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. I don't know. Bring up Fabian Lysell.
Bring up Ian Mitchell.
Yep. Nope. He can stay down. Nope. Do something. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Book Brad boys.
Cam, get on that.
Yeah. I'll book him. I'll book him. I also need to book that last referee that made that atrocious 2-minute minor call or reduced it to that. I need to book him too, just so I can absolutely just put him on the spotlight and just be like, how much do you think you suck? How well do you think you could do your job better?
I'd love that, but it would never happen.
No, it would never happen. No, we should get what's his name, the disgraced referee, back on this podcast. I don't know, the one that got caught doing some stupid shit that he was looking for calls. Can't remember his name.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
We should get him on here and get his opinions on that. He probably yeah, fuck the Bruins. That was a 2-minute minor. I'd be like, yeah, you lost your job because you were looking for calls. You fucking bum.
Yeah. Well, like I said, hopefully next week the vibes are a little bit higher.
Good vibes only.
I hope you guys are right. I hope that they sweep. They are winnable games, but we shall see.
I'll put it this way: if they don't sweep, I might actually join Kyle. Book it.
And with that, ladies and
gentlemen, if there's a reason I'm not here Sunday, or Kyle's not here Sunday, you know what happened. The audience knows what happened.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for episode 20 of HiBruiNation. Make sure you go check out our website, HiBruiNation.com, for our blogs, pre-games, post-game game recaps, and much more, which we're planning on having so much content for you guys out this year. The season is a quarter of the way over, but we are just getting started. Make sure to look us up on Twitter. We are now on Bluesky for those of you who have made the jump, or through our website for your thoughts. You can be heard on our episode. We're taking voice submissions via the link on our Twitter or on our website, or you can send us a DM on any social media platform we have. For those on YouTube, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, hopefully the vibes are better next week. We love you guys, and go Bruins.